and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. I hope everybody is having a great weekend so far. I hope that you're all healthy and staying strong. Students, this class is an IELTS Task 1 general writing. It's going to be a letter, or you can think of it as an email if you'd like in the modern times. So it's going to be for Task 1 General. We sometimes do this because we live stream to both our general and academic YouTube channels at the same time. This is a members chat class. So to join the chat today, you need to become a member of our channel. Click the join button next to the subscribe button. If you do not see that, just send me an email and I'll give you more help. Welcome, Jaineel. Good to see some of our members joining into the chat already. Let me brighten myself up a little bit here. There we go. All right. This lesson is brought to you by aehelp.com. For academic IELTS, visit us there. For the general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. Both of our websites have over 100 hours of video lessons, full interactive course, and original practice exams. We have apps, Academic IELTS Help, General IELTS Help in your app store, so you can download our apps as well. Let me show you what our websites look like real quick. They look like this. This is our Academic IELTS website here. We will be using this in the next class, which is coming up in 90 minutes. That's a subscribers chat class for our speaking. And you can join our premium IELTS package by clicking this red button right there. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. So it's really well worth it. Doesn't cost a lot of money, and it helps everybody to improve their IELTS band scores. I mean, we've got lots and lots of success stories that you can see on our website with literally hundreds of people who come back and tell us that they did a great job after using the website. So for general IELTS, it's the green background. Again, click this red button to join the premium package. It is a one-time payment for lifetime access. Hi Rahul, hi Sanjay, hi May. Good to see more students in the class now as we're gearing up to start our Task 1 writing for the general IELTS. Instagram, IELTS_AE-help and GIELTS help. Check us out there. So join us. Begin learning for success. Students, our schedule, or if you want to email me, sorry, I should say, Adrian@aehelp.com. And then we have Task 1 General right now. Then we have Speaking Part 3. 27th to March 1st, no class. That's usually no classes Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And then we've got classes starting back up on the 2nd and more classes coming throughout the following week. These are live classes. So check that schedule out on our YouTube channel, another good reason to subscribe, or on our Instagram. On IG, you can see our schedule as well. Okay, lots of speaking, some listening, and some writing task 2 next week. All right, so let's get into our Task 1 structure. So Task 1 for the general IELTS is a narrative essay. It means it tells a story, basically. And it has 3 parts to make it a complete, clear, coherent response. It's at least 150 words, and you should spend 20 minutes on it. In part 1, which is a couple of sentences, introduce yourself and the purpose of your letter. And then in part 2, that's where you narrate. Narrate means basically you tell a story, right? And the story can be real or fiction. It doesn't matter for the IELTS if you're making up the story or if it's kind of like a real story that you're taking from your own life. But you have to make sure that that story has context. So it has the setting, the location of where it's happening, the people who are involved. It has the conflict, so the issue at hand, the consequences, so what could be the outcomes, and then a detailed description, right? Finally, the third part is the conclusion. You offer solutions and expectations. So we're going to go through all of these with today's question, okay? And this is the question that we're looking at today. Sanjay is asking, for academic students, is this session important? In some sense, yes, Sanjay. So narrative writing requires descriptive writing, and that type of writing is also found in task 2. As well, it's quite important indirectly to practice at least a bit of task 1, general writing for academic students as well. Anybody know why? So why might it be useful to practice at least a little bit of general IELTS task 1, even if you are an academic IELTS student and you're going for university study abroad? So it's a good question. While you think about that, let's read this and then I'll circle back to that question, okay? So here we go. You should spend about 20 minutes on this task. You need to change your vacation hotel booking. Write a letter to the hotel manager. In your letter, explain why you need to make the change, what you prefer instead, how this will help you have a better vacation. Write at least 150 words. You do not need to write any addresses. Begin your letter as follows. Dear sir. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go to our syllabus and then we will begin our writing shortly. And again, I'm circling back to this question because that was a good question by Sanjay, and I figured somebody might ask that question. So is it important for academic students to understand general IELTS task 1? You don't need to spend lots of hours doing this or practicing this, Sanjay, but I would definitely try once or twice just to make sure that you are proficient in this kind of writing as well. So let me ask you this question, and let's start with this question. So why might it be a good idea to practice a couple of task 1 general essays, even if you are registered for the academic IELTS? And I give you one tip, which was it will help you to understand narrative essay writing in the first person voice of the author. So that's definitely a big benefit, right? And then Jainil says, yeah, very good, Jainil. So Jainil says it's helpful for communication with emails. So it will help you to improve your communication in emails with schools, universities, and for application. Yeah, yeah, it's generally speaking, it's a good skill to have, right? At the end of the day, you're not writing about graphs and charts when you contact your university about questions regarding your program or your acceptance. You're basically using this kind of email, and you don't want to rely on an agent completely, right? So you want to be able to do this yourself as well. Absolutely, yeah. So, you know, take it as you will today. If you're in the academic only, it's still a good idea to have a insight into this type of writing. Okay, so Here we go. Let's do this, everyone. We'll go through the 3 parts of this essay step by step. We'll write together, and then I will give you feedback on your writing. So again, IELTS writing task 1, spend 20 minutes on this task. Okay, and you need to change your vacation hotel booking. So first of all, you have to write a letter to the hotel manager, and it says start by writing, "Dear Sir." Okay, so first step is to introduce yourself. Okay, introduction. So we begin, "Dear Sir," and it tells us to write "Dear Sir," so we don't need to write "Dear Hotel Management" or "Dear Madame." It says start by "Dear Sir," so let's keep that simple. Let's just start by "Dear Sir." This is the introduction. So in the introduction, what you want to do is provide information about who you are. Okay. All right. So let's do this. Now, traditional letter writing, we definitely indent. Okay, so we tab on the computer a little bit. And then you can begin by addressing the appropriate person in this communication. So I am writing this letter for the hotel staff in charge of managing bookings. My name is, okay, and then give your name, Thomas Smith, and I am writing in regards to booking ID, and then make up a number, which was which I made on, let's say, May 19th. Okay. So here's my introduction. Now, when you're dealing with an airplane booking or a hotel booking, you're going to have some kind of a number for that booking. An even better word than ID is reference. You have a reference number, okay? And you want to introduce that. So here, all I'm doing is laying the foundation for the hotel staff to quickly and clearly access the information. Usually for that, they need the date, the name of the person, and the reference number of the person, okay? So again, this is just really good practice. If you're writing to a university about your program and you want to change your program, same kind of information. You're going to say your name, your reference number, and when you registered for your courses, okay? So that makes sense. All right, students, so again, I encourage you to write this introduction so that we can compare, okay? So because it says start with "Dear Sir," I started with "Dear Sir," but that doesn't mean I can't be more specific for who this letter should go, okay? So I make it very clear in the beginning. I'm writing this letter for the hotel staff in charge of managing bookings. Okay, now they know who to give the letter to, okay? Because maybe I'm just sending this to the hotel, generally speaking, okay? All right. And then I introduce myself. My name is Thomas Smith, and I'm writing in regards to booking reference number, let's add that as well, 8236234, which I made on May 19th. Okay. All right. So Janil is asking, can we write the hotel manager staff instead of staff? You could, Janil. I think it makes sense from saying in charge of managing bookings, so maybe not completely necessary, but you could. All right. Okay, this is what Rahul has. Let me take a look, Rahul. So Rahul writes, My name is Rahul Kamodia, and I have made a booking in your hotel from 1st of March to the 5th, or to March 5th to the 5th of March via the internet. And my booking reference number is, okay? Via means the way that you do it. So the way that you do it isn't really the number. That's a bit awkward. So this would be the accurate way to write that, Rahul. It's still about a band 7 without my corrections. Okay, with the corrections it's higher. It's still fairly clear and accurate without corrections, Rahul, but you definitely want these small changes to be absolutely accurate in your writing. Okay, so let's read this. My name is Rahul Kamodia, and I have made a booking in your hotel from the 1st of March to the 5th of March. We probably wouldn't repeat March in this case, Rahul, so let me, here, like that, okay? Now it's better. So let's read this one more time. My name is Rahul Kamodia, and I have made a booking in your hotel from the 1st to the 5th of March via the internet, and my booking reference number is 0079258. Now we are cooking, Rahul, okay? Try not to repeat words. Usually in English, especially in writing, you do not need to repeat the same word twice within a sentence. There is some way to make it grammatically so that you don't repeat, okay? All right. Kua Fam. Let's have a look. Okay. All right. So Koa writes, let's check this out. Koa writes, I'm Koa. Okay. I wouldn't start, this is okay, here we go. Here's a good, so this is often a question by general IELTS students, right? When do I write a formal or an informal letter? So here, this would be a formal letter, Koa, okay? Because you're writing it to the hotel staff, right? So let me just jump back here. It's a good time, I think, to make this note. Okay, and a lot of students ask this, like, what's the difference between formal and informal? So this is a formal letter, okay? Informal letters, you should avoid the use of contractions, like I'm, we're, they've, and so on. Okay, there's lots of contractions in English. Instead, you should write out the words, okay, for clarity and emphasis. Okay, so you should write I am, we are, they have, and so on. Okay, all right. And yeah, don't really use slang, Mal, for sure. You want to avoid slang. So here we go. A formal letter. So we have to upgrade this a little bit. Koa. I am Koa Pham, who has a booking ID. You don't need to say that. We would just simplify that in natural English. Booking ID 989878. Which I made yesterday. Okay, yeah, I might write which I created, but that's fine. You made the booking, you created the ID. It's a bit of a tricky one. Which I created yesterday, February 25th. I'm writing this email to the relevant staff to send a request about room adjustment to a room with sea view balcony. Okay, I would not jump into this part of the letter yet. Okay, so Koa, I would leave this for the main part. Okay, so do not introduce your problem yet. Okay, just introduce yourself at the beginning of this one here. Because we're not sure where we're going with it. And if you write this, what happens a lot of times to general IELTS students when they introduce their issue right away in the first sentence is they have troubles writing 150 words clearly. They run out of ideas and they end up writing a very short, awkward, repetitive kind of a letter. Okay. Now, here's another interesting question, actually, that I've thought of while I'm teaching you this. So, one of the big kind of challenges, or one of the common situations in general IELTS Task 1 is people write the same information, repeat the same information, and there's a lack of clarity. Okay, so a common difficulty in general IELTS Task 1 is redundant information and disorganized information that is incoherent, means doesn't make a lot of sense, right? Where else in the IELTS exam does that happen? Okay. So here's another great reason to practice a couple of these general IELTS Task 1s. Okay, so for academic students as well, right? Where else does this happen during the IELTS exam or in the IELTS exam? Can anybody tell me that? Just for fun? Let's see. Yeah, very good. Someone got it quite fast. So I'm looking at the chat, and very quickly, Mal says the speaking part. Which part? Can you be more specific? Mal? So which part of the speaking? Yeah, so Mal is right. Speaking, specifically, which part of speaking does that happen? Mal says the third part. Sometimes, Mal. I would say part 2. Yeah, that's right, Koa. Very nice. So Koa says part 2. Yeah, this is very, very similar to what happens for many candidates in speaking part 2. As part 2 speaking, as the cue card is in fact an oral version of general IELTS Task 1. Okay, so some of you are probably having an epiphany like me, like, oh yeah, that totally makes sense, right? You could get a cue card that says talk about a situation where you had to change a reservation, and basically you're talking about changing your hotel booking, right? So by practicing, and this is, we're going back here now, by practicing general IELTS Task 1, you are also practicing for your part 2 speaking, okay? I'm just trying to see where I wrote this. Maybe it's at the very end. Oh, here it is. Okay. All right, so keep that in mind. Does that make sense, everyone? Right? Andre says, yeah, part 2. So, and often it's a better way to start by doing this. So by doing general task 1 and then realizing that, hey, that's about a task 2. 150 words is roughly a 2-minute, 1 to 2 minute task 2. Okay, so by doing this, you are also improving your skills for speaking part 2. And maybe I can throw a therefore in there. Right? Okay. And I see some of you are like, oh yeah, that's not a bad idea. Improve speaking part 2 by practicing general IELTS task 1 and then all these other reasons. So at the end of the day, students, realistically, if we want to really keep this simple, you should have a basic understanding of all 4 types of writing and all 3 voices in English. So we're talking about narrative essays, descriptive essays, persuasive essays, expository essays in first, second, third person voice. You need to understand all of those. All right, so let's jump back to the question. We've introduced ourselves. Here we go. Dear sir, I am writing this letter for the hotel staff in charge of managing bookings. My name is Thomas Smith, and I am writing in regards to booking reference number 8236234, which I made on May 19th. Now, don't forget the original question. It says, in your letter, you need to change your vacation hotel booking. So maybe it's the time of the booking, right? Maybe it's the type of room. Okay, so we have to decide what it is. And if you're really fluent, you might include 2 of these reasons, right? So let's shoot for that. Let's shoot for 2 reasons, okay? So we're going to go with 2 reasons. Reason number 1, we need a bigger room. Because Uncle John decided to join. And we need the room 1 day earlier because Uncle John is arriving early. Okay, so let's have some fun with this. So let's include those 2 reasons. And Baccarat says, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Yeah, in 2 sense of the word of the idiom. So yeah, Baccarat, that's right. You can, absolutely. Okay. So by practicing task 1, you're also practicing speaking part 2, especially if you're a general IELTS student. Okay. Baccarat says, Uncle John. That's funny. Okay, but yeah, it makes sense. All right. So let's introduce this conflict first, okay? So let's write about the setting. So currently, the booking is for 1 week from July 18th until the 25th for let's say ocean view business room with a queen size bed. Okay, so let's just explain what we have right now. When you're doing these steps, always make sure that you don't, assume that the hotel staff is paying attention, right? You have to spell it out. So even if you think, oh, well, they'll just be able to see my booking by bringing up the reference number. Yeah, careful. I've tried that in real life, and sometimes I've burnt myself. They've given me a smaller room thinking that it's a bigger room. So it's a good idea to tell them what you have right now, and then they're like, oh, okay, that's what this person has, so they need something bigger. So currently the booking is for 1 week, careful with typos, 1 week from July 18th until the 25th for an ocean view business room with a queen size bed. However, yeah, and then, wait, not done yet, for 3 people, my wife, my daughter, and myself. Okay. All right. Okay. So context, right? This is what I said. Remember, I said for the main part, you have to give context. So just like in a movie, right? Where is it happening? When is it happening? Who is there? So that's kind of what we're thinking about in this part, right? Is when these questions have to be answered. Okay. When, where, who? What's the context? Okay, that's very important when you're telling a narrative. All right, so think about those questions, okay? And I have that, July 18th to the 25th. That's the when. Where? It's an ocean view business room with a queen-size bed for 3 people. Who? My wife, my daughter, myself, right? Okay. So, there we go. Let's fix the punctuations, couple more fixes, and now we're good. I'm also waiting for your writing, students, okay? All right. So now I want to introduce the conflict, okay? Okay, so Uncle John, let's say Uncle John is my brother-in-law, okay? So uncle to my daughter. We can get a little bit fancy here. However, our circumstances have recently changed unexpectedly because I received a call from my brother-in-law yesterday that he will be returning from his overseas job, and he would love to join us on our vacation. Okay, so the conflict, the problem situation, right? Okay. All right, before I continue on and while you're thinking about what to write next, I can see that Andre here has written a sentence, so let's take a look at this sentence. This is Andre here. Okay, all right. So it looks a bit funky, Andre, because of those emojis, but here we go. Right now, the comma is always after the last letter, and there's a space after the comma, Andre. So right now, booking is for 1 week. My booking is for 1 week. You made the same typo as me. 1 week from 18th. Usually in writing, we do include the TH in this kind of a letter, okay? From the, because it's a specific date, from the 18th to the 26th of March, let's say. I don't want that superscript there, so I'm just going to stick it there. Okay, so week from the 18th to the 26th of, let's have the month, June, okay? For a great ocean view, great ocean view is okay. We would say nice or beautiful instead, likely. Okay, for a nice ocean view with a large-sized bed. Large-sized bed, Andre, would not make sense to people. You have to be more specific. So it's going to be a queen, a king, a double. Okay, so the sizes go single, double, queen, king. Okay, so with a king size bed, king size would be hyphenated. Oh, sorry. Yeah, let's get rid of that emoji, and then, well, no, didn't do anything. Okay, so king size bed for my family, my wife, my son, and me. Okay, We always usually put ourselves last in the order, and me. Okay. All right, that looks better, Andre. So right now, my booking is for 1 week from the 18th to the 26th of June for a nice ocean view with a king-size bed for my family, my wife, my son, and me. All right, okay, good. Andre, you can't just say, but I must say that my Uncle John has wishes to join us. That's awkward. You have to express that a little bit longer and clearer, okay? Don't start sentences with but, Andre, okay? Avoid starting sentences with but. Okay, so here I have my conflict. I'm going to jump back to what I'm writing and then we'll keep going. So, however, our circumstances have recently changed unexpectedly because I received a call from my brother-in-law yesterday that he will be returning from his overseas job and he would love to join us on our vacation. Okay. Since my daughter has not had the chance to get to know her uncle, right? So watch the relations. Now it's her uncle, right? Since my daughter has not had the chance to get to know her uncle, this would be a great opportunity to do so. In light of this altercation, okay, altercation here means change, so pay attention to the vocabulary as well. In light of this altercation, I request that you upgrade our room to an ocean view suite, which has a separate or additional room, separate sleeping area with a double bed or better. Okay. So basically I'm saying that, you know, we need a larger room now where Uncle John will be able to sleep. And we want Uncle John to be comfortable. He's a grown man, so we want him to have, you know, a double bed. It's called a double bed. It's smaller than a queen, okay? Or better, maybe a queen. And hey, if Uncle John's really lucky, maybe even a king, okay? All right. Let's see what Bakrat has written here. So Bakrat writes, let's check it out, Bakrat. This is what Bakrat has. I'll grab the whole piece here, Bakrat. I can see that it's in 2 parts, which is totally fine. Okay. All right. Let's check this out. So Bakrat writes, we are 2 people will stay at your hotel. That is not accurate grammar, Bakrat. And hotel is not capital unless you say the exact name of the hotel. Bakrat, simpler, clear English, okay? So my wife and I will be staying at your hotel. Okay, or if it's your friend, then it's your friend. So my friend and I. And then you don't need to repeat. My friend Leo and I will be staying at your hotel. Currently, the booking is for 1 bed, not there was 1 bed. Careful not to jump around with future and past, Bharat. So currently, or as it stands, the booking is for 1 bed in room number 206. Okay, new sentence. When I booked, no texting type writing. So when I booked, okay, that's redundant again. So let's take that out. However, now it should be to. Okay, don't say what it should be, request it, okay? So now I would like to request a to missing subject, to bed, room, okay? Because my friend decided to stay with me for a week after he finished his work. Here's the logic of information. For a week after finishing his work. Okay. All right, Bharat, you've got a lot of mistakes in there. You've got grammar, verb tense, language use, awkward phrasing. This would be quite low on the IELTS, so I don't want to scare you, but this would be like a band 4 level writing as is, okay? It needs a lot of correction for it to be sensible. So you really have to be careful, Bharat, not to translate, okay? And to really focus on just clear, concise writing, okay? I definitely recommend, Bharat, lots and lots of practice, okay? All right. So, Bharat, the way that what you're saying should read is, my friend Leo and I will be staying at your hotel. As it stands, the booking is for 1 bed in room number 206 for myself. I realize that at the end that's what you're saying. For myself. However, I would like to change this for a 2-bed room because my friend decided to stay with me for a week after finishing his work. Okay, that's how it reads correctly. All right. Okay, so jumping back to so jumping back to this body paragraph here, okay, I'm basically saying that I want to change this because I want to upgrade to an ocean view, which has a separate sleeping area. Now I want to say that I want to change the booking time as well. Also, my brother-in-law will be arriving a day earlier, as this was the only flight available. So I ask that you change our check-in time to July 17th rather than the 18th. Okay. All right. So we've got our body now. I've clearly expressed what I want. I'm also paying attention to the question. So explain what you need to make the change, okay? What you prefer, or sorry, explain why you need to make the change. We did that, right? Because Uncle John is joining us. And then what you prefer instead. We've explained what we would like and how this will help you have a better vacation. Okay, so now let's do that in the conclusion. So we'll offer the kind of solution, the conclusion. We'll say how this will make it better, and we'll thank them. Okay, so this would be the conclusion. All right, coming up. All right. So please do everything in your power to accommodate my request, as this will truly make my daughter happy, and it will allow my wife and I to have some private time while John is engaging in activities with my daughter. With my child. Okay, I don't want to repeat daughter. So please do everything in your power to accommodate my request, as this will truly make my daughter happy, and it will allow my wife and I to have some private time while John is engaging in activities with my child. Certainly, I am willing to pay the extra costs for the upgrade and last minute changes, okay? Please bill the credit card that you have on file, which I used for the initial booking, ending with 1111. Okay. I request that you send me a confirmation once the changes have been made. And then sign off. Sincerely, your loyal patron, Thomas Smith. I believe that's what I called myself at the beginning. So there we go. Okay, and now I have my full essay, and let's see, I'm wondering, it's probably going to be about 220 words. Again, task 1 for the general is the same as for academic, so a good task 1 usually will be a little bit more than 150 words. This one here is about 240, okay, without all of the additions. If you're not as fast writing, then maybe just give one reason, like Uncle John is coming back and we need a bigger room. You don't necessarily have to change the time, so you can keep it shorter. Depends on your writing speed. Make sure to leave time to review your writing, okay? All right, so let's read this letter, okay? Dear Sir, I'm writing this letter for the hotel staff in charge of managing bookings. My name is Thomas Smith, and I'm writing in regards to booking reference number 8236234, which I made on May 19th. Currently, the booking is for 1 week from July 18th until the 25th for an ocean view business room with a queen-size bed for 3 people, my wife, my daughter, and myself. However, our circumstances have recently changed unexpectedly because I received a call from my brother-in-law yesterday that he will be returning from his overseas job and he would love to join us on our vacation. Since my daughter has not had the chance to get to know her uncle, this would be a great opportunity to do so. In light of this altercation, I request that you upgrade our room to an ocean view suite, which has a separate sleeping area with a double bed or better. Also, my brother-in-law will be arriving a day earlier as this was the only flight available. So I ask that you change our check-in time to July 17th rather than the 18th. Please do everything in your power to accommodate my request, as this will truly make my daughter happy and it will allow my wife and I to have some private time while John is engaging in activities with my child. Certainly, and here I might actually change this instead of with my child, with his niece. Okay, sounds better. Certainly, I'm willing to pay the extra cost for the upgrade and last minute changes. Please bill the credit card that you have on file, which I used for the initial booking, ending with 1111. I request you send me a confirmation once the changes have been made by email. Let's say response. Sincerely, your loyal patron, Thomas Smith. Okay, so that's the essay, and I didn't do anything extremely tricky. All I did was follow the steps that I showed you here in the correct structure. So introduction, introducing myself and the purpose of the letter. So, or the reason, right? And here it was the hotel booking. The narration, so explaining the context, conflict, consequences, detailed description. And then the conclusion, the solutions and the expectations. That's all I did, all right? Okay, Andre, thank you for the thumbs up. I see that you really enjoyed that. Thank you, students, for hanging out with me for this kind of a different lesson today. Task 1 for the general. And for lots of help with the general IELTS exam, definitely visit our general IELTS website. It's with the green background at gieltshelp.com, and click this big red button to join our premium IELTS package. It's, again, a one-time payment for lifetime access, so it's really, really well worth it. You will surely improve your scores. For the academic IELTS, check out aehelp.com and click this big red button there to join our premium package. It's going to improve your communication and your band scores for sure. Okay. Coming up in about 30 minutes, I will be back with speaking part 3. Speaking part 3, we will be doing live speaking. So you will be able to talk to me. I will talk to you. Come back for that, members. Okay. Rahul, we are working on more Task 1 general videos in the coming weeks. So look forward to that. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Have a good break. Come back in 30 minutes and join me for speaking. Bye for now.